right, everyone. Well, welcome to office hours. This is just time that we host for open support, and we do it every week. So we have a good agenda today. I'll go ahead and get us started so that we can roll on it today. I want to knock out some ones that I think will be pretty quick. So then we can maybe go through some of the questions that are more like tutorial based. So Anne, I want to call you up because I'm pretty sure we can quickly fix whatever's going on in your SAS. Are you on the call right now?
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Sorry to cut in line, but you're right. This might be a lot easier, but I was using the SAS template to create a login page, and I was customizing it, and somehow I got lost. So I was like referencing the original one, but still can't get it to work. So what I have here is that after the users click, well, there's the validation steps first, right? Let me move the bar around. So after checking the checkbox, they would be able to sign enable. And this is just the same as the original SAS template. And the sign up here, it will lead to sign up. And here I made some changes. So originally there was like company ID, but because I don't need like a company, I just need users. So I deleted that. Is it here? Oh, I deleted photos. Oh, it was in the signing steps that I deleted the company ID, I believe. Oh, no, sorry. It's create company. I made it into create users. And here is I deleted the company ID and everything. And another thing that's different is that the original SAS template, it opened up like externally to the web header, to the app itself. Whereas for me, I'm not really sure if I follow why that was the case. So I just opened it into a onboarding page for users who just signed up. But currently this doesn't work. So I'm wondering what I'm missing.
Yeah. Okay. So can you take me back to the enable, sign up enable,
Yes.
and then go to the interaction here?
Yes.
So notice, and this works because I notice there's a key code here.
Real quick, what part of it isn't working, Anne? Like when you click create account, is that not creating?
Yeah, that's not creating. Yeah, it's not creating.
Okay. So it probably doesn't have anything to do later on with the sign-in part. It's just that it's not creating. Dorian, do we want to see what's actually happening?
Yeah, in a second. So
okay.
Go ahead and go into the action sign up.
So I was only setting interaction on pressing enter though, right? Like that could be the problem or no?
I don't know. That's what I was asking. Like, what's the key code for 13's what, enter?
Yeah, I thought 13 was enter. That's why I put it there, but maybe I should delete that.
Yeah, because you want to set the interaction regardless, right? It's just if it validates, you set it. So it shouldn't require any key code.
It's a click event, so I think it might ignore the key code anyway, but you know.
Yeah.
You don't need it.
And then this is the users. So that's coming from there. Scroll down a little bit. So password, then first name, last name. Yeah, so everything looks correct. Let's go try it and let's see, maybe the key code was just causing something, I don't know. And then if you can open the developer tools, that way we can see the requests.
Right here, inspect.
Yeah, and then go to the network tab at the top there. And you can toggle off the mobile view. It's to the left of the elements tab. There's that little to the right one.
This one.
That one, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and try it, and then we'll watch what happens in the network.
It used to work when I click this. What happened?
Like it's not enabling it.
Weird.
Is the password, does the password not meet the parameters? Sometimes it has to be longer or have like something.
It depends on the condition, but I think she's just looking for if there's the value, right?
A word earlier, promise.
Yeah, let's go back to the studio and let's look through the validation. Maybe the checkbox. So just take me through all the validation.
Yeah.
So go to
every step.
Yeah, I just
Okay.
want to run through it, see what it does.
Step 1, if true, takes to the password and is connected to the password, and
Yeah. If it's
if
not
it's okay,
empty, yeah,
first
go to the
name.
next step. If it's not empty, go to the next step.
Yep.
And if it's not empty, go to step 5. Yep. And then this one just says if it's not empty. But a checkbox is always has a value, right? It's either true or false. So I think for this one, you need to set it to equals true, right?
You can do like equals and then a checkbox actually. So like instead of text or two, do a checkbox. I don't know, like this is like a foolproof way. Then if check it if you want true or uncheck it if you want false.
That way it matches. Okay, let's try it now and see.
Should I refresh or?
Yeah, let's refresh just to be sure.
That's weird. I promise it was working before.
Maybe the checkbox isn't triggering the whole flow. Like if you change like the email or something now, it might validate it.
Oh, well, the email's not a valid email, so that one wouldn't validate. So put like at something.com. No, still not.
All those fields trigger the validation, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Just check. First name is
Yeah.
validate 1. Everything is set to 1.
Yeah, which is correct. And also the checkbox. Yeah, and it is on change, so that's correct. Maybe let's step through the validate one more time, just so we can make sure. If not, the only other alternative would be to just put breakpoints and step through each condition and see where it's failing.
Okay, so I go to step 1 again, or?
Yeah, go to step 1 and this, now we can see. This is coming from the email field, checking if there's a value. And it's validating email, then this is going through the password. I guess one quick thing we can do is add a console log, right, Drew? In one of these steps, we can see how far it's making it.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Go back to the studio. Now we don't have to mess with breakpoints. And let's try here just to see step 3. So go to add actions and search for console log. And then in there, just copy the name of the flow at the top, validate step 3 and put that in there as the console. So we know it's this one. And then let's go refresh and let's run it. And we're going to check the console and see. And then this time in the dev tools, go to the console tab instead of the network. Okay, and now let's type something in there.
Should have already output it, right?
Yeah, it's not even making it. Maybe the email one is not even validating. Go back.
Check that email action. That makes sense because that's like a little different too. Like there could be something going on in there. So just check the step 1.
And also add a console log here.
Yeah, let's add one and put the same name in there.
Okay.
Let's just make sure this is firing. And then let's try it, and then we can see if, there's something.
Let me use my real name, so it makes a difference.
So it's definitely firing. You can see that one. I think it's never making it to step 2. Can we add one more console log up to step 2?
Step 2.
Yeah. We can always just use a normal compare instead of that validate email. Because you can validate an email through that action as well. But I bet that's the one that's failing. Yeah, it's never making it past that. So let's try this. Let's reselect, go back to step 1 there and reselect the element just to make sure it's the real email field we have.
And do it for other steps too?
No, just that one. And let's try one more time. If that doesn't work, we're going to change that first flow to a regular compare. Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh, wow. Nice.
You see that?
Now it's
Okay.
not getting past step 2 though.
No, it's probably the same issue. Did you delete elements on that page at some point?
Yeah, I did. Now
I think that's probably all it is. Go to step 2 and then reselect the password.
Okay.
It's like it's tied to like older ones or something.
And then maybe do it for each.
Yeah, just do it for all of them just to make sure.
I'm sorry about that.
Okay, and now let's go try it.
Please work. This is not even the problem I came here
Yeah.
for. Yay. Okay, so
And then
this
go
is what I came here for.
Go to the network now.
And
And I want to see that. Scroll to the, what's that last? Do you see that request that says M8S, the third one from the bottom?
this one.
Yeah, click on that. This is a save, yeah. And then expand there in the right side there, it says OBJ for object. Expand that. And then expand the next one under Rex. And then expand the 0. So it did save. I think it's just the condition. What happens after it saves?
I'm supposed to sign in, I saw.
Yeah, it's supposed to lead you to the sign in.
So it looks like the sign up worked. We can confirm that really quick. If you go to the data collections and go to the users table, we should see your email in here, the one you signed up with.
Oh, it says on waiting list.
Is that the
Maybe.
one you just did? Oh, that's why I didn't sign you in. You have it set in your settings to join a waiting list instead of directly sign up, I think.
Yeah,
because right now on my page I have the join waiting list. This is why I set it to that. So if I change it, would I change the join waiting list?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, so what should I do to test out
Well,
and develop?
What you have to do if you want, so you want like people to be able to join the waiting list while you build, basically.
Yeah.
You'll have to publish to, I think this would work, right? If you publish to production where they're signed up for the waiting list, you can change it in your development environment to keep moving. And the production versions, when people go to it, they'll still be on the waiting list as long as you don't publish again. And then, as soon as when you're ready and you
Okay.
publish again, it'll take whatever settings are in your dev
Mm.
environment.
Yeah.
Okay. Should
Does that
I
make
go
sense?
and-
It's kind of a weird way to explain it, I
Right.
feel like.
Yeah, sorry. I
Yeah,
feel
it
like
makes
it's really
sense.
confusing.
It makes sense. Like right now, because right now everything is in the test environment, actually, even the published version.
Mhm.
So what I need to
Yeah,
do.
you can publish the test with waiting list on, and then in dev, you can take the waiting list off and keep working, and it'll be fine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Can I try
But-
partial publishing here?
That won't work for that
Oh,
setting because that
okay.
one is a project level setting, not a page level
Mhm.
setting. Partial
Okay.
publish is specific to pages only.
Okay. All right. So what I need to do is to, after I change from test to production for the, after I publish the join waiting list to production in the test environment, I can change this to, where do I change it again? The
It's
authentication?
under, authentication.
Yeah, so.
And then it's the
end
sign
user,
up.
and
Yeah,
I
right
would
there.
change it to immediate sign up. And then
Exactly.
that should work.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Uh,
the way that whenever you're ready and to actually launch, you just go into your users and you open it and then you just change it to move off waiting list. There's like a button. And then what that does is if you have an email that's set up for that in authentication settings, there's a waiting list email that you can
Mhm.
set up via SendGrid or something to notify them, hey, you've been moved off the wait list, like, click here to log in or something.
Okay.
So you
I
just
can
click
change
that.
this?
Yeah, so you click that edit button on the left to the right of the checkbox. You come in
Oh.
here and you click move off waiting list, and that will move them off the waiting list, and it will check if you have an email integration set up for specifically that process, and then it'll trigger that out. If not, it'll just update the status to verify.
Okay, I'll move off the waiting list right here. Okay.
Yeah.
My current people who are signing up right now, they're unverified. Is that what it's supposed to say, or it should be on waiting list? 'Cause it should be on waiting.
It should be, if you want them on waiting list, it should be on waiting list. The unverified means that you're requiring a verification email.
Oh, okay.
So I
So-
think in production, you probably have it set to that right now.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna play around with it and see how it goes. Thanks so much for your help.
Yeah.
And so while we're on the auth stuff, Zspaceman, you had a quick question, right? I think it was, let me pull up here. A password auth question. Do you want to go ahead and ask that while we're talking about this real quick? You're muted.
My bad. All right, now I need to show my screen. All right, let's see. I got too many browsers open here. Okay, let's do this one. Okay, so here is what I'm working on. I was trying to get this done for you this morning, but then life happened. Okay, so here's what I want to be able to do. When somebody puts in a password, I have it set up. So let's go to authentication, password settings. All right. So just like a minimum 5, 1 character, 1 special character. And when that actually tests, it would show a message. So how do I tell it? How do I set it up so that it's testing that parameter of the password? And then if it's wrong, then a message would show up. How do I test against that?
Yeah. I think, are you doing it right now? It's not letting you sign up, I assume right now, but it's just giving you a generic error.
Yeah, I just basically put that in there. So like I could, here, let's just go like this, right? 1 and then. So that should, in theory, work because I have it set up, 5 with 1 of each. So how do
Are
I?
you right
know,
now, like, are you actually trying to sign in and it didn't work, or that was just like a dummy thing?
It's just a dummy. I'm
Oh,
just
okay,
trying
yeah,
to, set up a bigger form that I have going, and this is just the one aspect I need to work on right now.
Yeah. I think you just have to basically do it manually, right, Dorian? Like there's not a way to directly like output those settings, but when they type in the password field, just like we were doing a second ago with validating each of those fields, you can like run your own thing to manually check for each of those and give them a message. Is that how you do it, Dorian? That's probably how I'd just approach it.
Yeah, right now that's the only method to do it. You just do your own conditions on it. I think for this one specifically, it's going to require regex in that condition statement. Because I don't remember what all those settings are, but it's like looking for numbers,
Yeah.
character length, and I don't remember what the third one was. But it can all be done for sure. Like I don't know what the regex is off the top.
Yeah, I'm looking
of my
up
head.
some regex right now to try to
I'd have to go test a few things and see which one would validate. Essentially, you do a match is the path, and then the match would have the regex inside of it. Could you go back to the auth settings and I can just take a look at what those settings are looking for?
Yeah. So we've got authentication.
That's min length, integer 1, 0 through 9, special characters, and an uppercase.
This is at least the one for one. What is this one number? I think. Super easy.
Yeah, so it's just minimum 5, one large or one number, and then one special character. So like right now, that working, I mean, that's at least a correct password that way.
Let's see. I kind of forget everything about regexes. I'm like looking up all the syntax right now.
Yeah, I think this one, because it'll take some time to figure out what that regex is to handle.
I think
do it
John just chatted something. Was that just?
Oh, there you go. Do you
Nice.
have them? There you go.
Perfect. Yeah, I was gonna say either way, we could just put some regex in at first and then set it all up and build that regex out later too. That looks like it.
Oh my God, that looks like a foreign language.
Yeah.
Regex it's crazy. It's like even for like hardcore developers, it's crazy. It's such a weird thing. But now with ChatGPT, it's like it makes it so much easier. You can type anything you want in the ChatGPT and it spits you out the regex.
Yeah, looks like it doesn't validate though.
What do you mean?
I'm just testing it and
Oh.
it doesn't find it.
If this is something like, we can answer on Discord, that's fine. I know there's a bunch of people waiting to get in. So this project that I'm working on is going to take me like a full year to build out. So this is just one of those little things I'm stuck on right now. So
I think we could probably set it up so you have the bones of it. We might not be able to if the regex isn't working now, like it might take a long time to figure that out. But it would still get you pretty far to like set up that match path that he was talking about.
is this what we're saying? Like what John chatted?
Yeah,
Yep.
he chatted the regex, the actual regular expression, which is what regex is short for. And then we need to use that inside of a path called match in Bildr. And regular expression is like a way to match things like at least one character. Normally you could say like, if A equals A, it's like very direct. Regex is like way more open-ended and allows you to like find little patterns and strings. So it gets crazy. Like all those symbols mean things in what he pasted. But I don't know. I can't even read it. I was about to actually say what some of it is. I can't even read it. It's crazy.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll put it in Discord and then just something to figure out.
Dorian, do you want to set up a match real quick on while we have the screen, or just do it in Discord?
Yeah, we can set one up really quick, just basic.
Yeah, just so like you got the bones of how it would work, and then the regular expression you can basically just paste in later.
Okay. So is there like a match action that
I think
It's
it's a condition action, right?
is a condition?
yeah, it's the normal condition, and you're testing the value against that field.
So
To
be a
think,
value.
yeah,
Okay.
and then
Could I add it to one that I already have going?
yeah,
Okay. All right.
just click add path there
Gotcha. All right. So,
under the value there. You see where it says add
oh yeah.
path.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and just type match.
Match.
Yeah. And then in the, go ahead and select the match that you just added, and then the parameters, how does it start? It's like regex.
Yeah, it's like regexp, like regexp.
Yeah.
And I think it might have a capital R and a capital E.
So yeah, capital REG.
But that E is lowercase, and then the next E that you're about to type is capital. So
Yeah. So
Right.
capital R, lowercase e, G,
Gotcha.
and then capital E, X, P. And then that's followed, or no, sorry, it's a E. Just the E is capital though. And then lowercase.
This?
the
Yeah.
XP. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And then that will get followed by the actual regex expression. So you can just put / for now. And,
Yeah.
and then it would go in between those /, the expression. And then
Okay,
you can end it with a G because it's going to be a group anyways.
Is a cap? Is a
No,
cap?
lowercase. Yeah. So just hit enter. And then we'll have to go figure out the expression, and then we'll have to chat it to you, and then you can come paste it in between those /.
Okay. All right. So
That'll do
okay,
it.
I get that. Okay, cool. So like what John texted, basically I would take something similar to that and paste that in between the two /.
Yep.
Exactly.
You can
Right.
also start by trying that too. Like I don't know if that's exactly when you tried Dorian and it didn't work, but
I
that,
did, yeah.
like in theory, it's going to be something like that or very close to that. That's what
Okay,
you're
so
ultimately doing.
Oh, I can't paste it. Oh, I can't. Okay.
You can. There are some specific things we'll have to handle because there's some characters we have to convert. So pasting it direct right now won't work in Bildr anyways.
Okay. Well, then I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I'll send you the whole thing.
Okay, cool. That's amazing, and it's much appreciated.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Yoo-hoo. All right, thanks, Spaceman. All right, let me see here. We've got some good stuff. Jan, I know it's probably maybe late for you. Why don't we check you out real quick, and then let's do the ChatGPT API stuff. And then we've got Scott for optimization. And are we good to go a little bit longer today if we need to, Drew and Dorian? Yeah.
Yeah, not too long. I will have to jump, but
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Jan, let us know what you've got.
Here's my screen. My images are on Webflow still, and now I want to import them to the Bildr storage. And yeah, I try to use the file uploader save file action here. And yeah, I have the image from the image legacy data field with the URL from Webflow. It's this one. And if I click on the button, it should run for this record. But I have the problem that if it runs, we can have a look on login. Actually, here I have the image uploader from this one, and I should get the path to this variable. And from this variable, I actually would like to update the my profile image data field here. But as you can see with my test, it deletes, so it's updated with an empty field here. Do you have an idea what?
I
or why
think
it's
one
not?
thing I saw in there was that you're running the file upload and there's a thing in there that's a flow to run on success. And instead of using the flow to run on success, you're just putting the next action right after it. So I think that could be an issue where basically it's not done uploading the file and then you try to save the next one to that update record. So you're using the variable correctly, but you should put whatever you use it in a flow right underneath that says flow to run on success. So you create a new flow called like update record success and put number 2 and 3 into there. I don't know if that'll totally fix it, but that's one thing. I mean, that's good practice either way. It's good to do that. So
Yes. And then
yeah.
copy, paste, copy, paste. Yeah. Delete.
And then yeah, set that. Yeah.
Success.
And are you sure that the actual image uploader is getting set with the right value before you try to upload? I think you might be past that point, but maybe not.
Yeah, because that's why the image is here.
Okay, cool.
This
So
is
I
the
mean,
right
you could
image.
try it like this. That might have fixed it, but I don't know if it would. It was just like sort of like a potential for breaking it.
Page. And load all my just okay, so I tried at the next one. And
Maybe it's never getting a success out of there. I don't know.
okay, I think it didn't work.
We could try. I don't know that much, Jordan. Do you know about this file uploader action? I don't know that much about the action because it's new and I didn't build it.
I don't. I've never actually used it.
But like we could probably look at the network or the console or something when you try that. Because I feel like you changed that to be on the success and it never ran, it looked like. So that would tell me that maybe like the file save is getting an error, not a success response. I don't know.
Can we, yeah, let's look at the network and maybe we can put a console log on that second step, confirm that it's getting there, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, you can just try it once first if you want to try it, and then we'll see if there's an error or a network error or anything. Could be a console or network, you know, just looking for anything.
What should I do? Click here? Nothing works.
Yeah, you can click there. Or did you already?
I did.
Is it that collect? Is that what popped in? Or no, that doesn't make sense, right?
No, I don't think so.
Well, I didn't see a save in the network for sure. Maybe see if you click on console, see if there's an error in the console. Yeah. Well, maybe minified React error. I'm not sure.
I don't think that's from us.
Yeah.
What should we try next?
Yeah, I bet the event's never firing. Like maybe that action type isn't actually firing the success. Maybe we put a console log on each of the success and fail to confirm which one it's going through.
Yeah. Or you could even just put a console log on fail right now to see if that's happening, because we know it's not going to success.
Okay, so new one. Um,
You can write
with
it failed if you want. If that's happening.
Right. And then this one.
Yep. Yeah, and then just try it again and see if it even gets in there.
Yeah, I'll refresh the bit. Okay, here it is.
Yeah, it's getting an error. It's running through the error flow. I don't know how to tell. Yeah, I don't know what that is. While we're talking, maybe I'll open that action JavaScript up and try to see what it's doing in there. Like we could maybe break on that action, but I don't know what it would show us.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just opening up this JavaScript right now and taking a look. Oh, maybe it'll give us a response. It looks like it's trying to return the actual error. Maybe we can find that. Could save error. Response.message.
How much of building is this? It's like going and looking and reading something and then coming back. A lot of it.
Yep. Yeah, it's like I'm looking at this code here and it's not really outputting. Like it's saving the error in the JavaScript. Like it's logging it inside of itself, but it's never actually giving it to us. I don't think we're gonna be able to find it.
Yeah.
Hey there, John and Scott are chatting some stuff in relation to something similar that they built. So I don't know, it might be worth looking at if we want to peek at that, and you guys can let me know if there's something to try.
I mean, yeah, I mean, if I were stepping through like that, but I think actually all that stuff is kind of set up because you have it outputting on the page at first, and then you click a button, which actually just like is the singular action to upload it. The difference here is you're using that new action, but in theory, as a new action, it should just work. I don't know. If there could be a problem with the action, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Can we do a compare? Is it possible to do a comparison? Like, Jan, when was this project? Like, this was created, I think, a while ago. You've been working on this one for a while. Can we just check
Yeah.
that out?
Well, the
Well,
action
that's
it's like a new action
new-
as of last week.
new
It's
action.
like
Oh,
there's not
gotcha.
really a potential to have an older version of the action. There's only ever been one version of it.
Okay. Okay. So what's the next step here, guys?
Maybe to debug off office hours, or maybe like have Ovi built this, so maybe he'll have to debug it too. I don't know.
Yeah.
We could probably I think my first step maybe to set up a test project and see if I can repeat it to isolate it, whether it's the action or the project, but it's going to be something deeper because right now the setup is correct. It's just when you actually upload the file, it's saying error and we're just stuck. We can't see what error that is.
And even when you try different kinds of files?
I don't know. Have you tried? I mean, you could try to isolate that, but I feel like he has the image uploader and it's flipping to the actual image, you're seeing it. So then at that point, it's the image uploader. I feel like it should just work for anything, but.
Okay. All right. So next step is for us to go review Jan's project and recreate a test scenario of using this action to see if it's working.
Is that how you think, Dorian, or you think you'd want to like step through the?
Yeah, because the problem is most of it's happening in that function, so I don't
Yeah.
really know what's happening in there. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think it'd be best to just run it by whoever built. I don't know if it's Dorel or OV, but
Oh, okay.
they can figure out what's happening there.
All right, so I'll write up a task for us to do that. And then I think we're good. We don't need any additional access, Jan.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
so-
sorry about that. I'll try a test after this just in case, but it probably won't work, I would guess, and then we'll have to get them to the devs to debug it.
What's
Yeah.
the name of the action? The file uploader save file?
Yeah. File uploader save file.
Jan, was there anything else we can help with?
I know right now not.
Okay, so it's definitely all right. So
Perfect.
I will write that up for the team and then we'll get back to you.
Okay.
We'll
Perfect.
DM you in Discord with what we find. Okay, so let's talk about ChatGPT API in regards to Lars's question, and then let's do optimization for Scott after that, and then we'll help Maine with her pick images URLs for my extension. Okay, so Lars is asking, he's wanting to work with ChatGPT API and build an easy chat. And then you also are wanting explanation on how to use the JSON object and the JSON array inside API calls. So I'm guessing this is kind of more of a general discussion.
Yeah, it seems like it's not working correctly, or it seems off, but I saw your tweet, Drew, about you could show us how we can manipulate the normal OpenAI text completion to use ChatGPT. And yesterday evening, I thought, oh, I give it a go and try to build my own API call. And maybe I show first the problem with JSON array, because do you see my screen? No, you don't.
Not yet, not yet.
Okay, maybe
There you
now.
go.
There you go.
Perfect. Because I wanted to use JSON array here, and it's nothing. And nothing is. I never worked with JSON array before in Bildr, so it seems like something is off here. Or
Yeah, it's
something
because
wrong?
that specific argument is looking for a pre-definition on the action type. It's not really an argument to where you can just build on the fly. So the only way to do it is you would actually have to use the concatenate and manually string together the array.
Okay. Okay, gotcha. But then I have like, what is it called in English? Around the message, right?
Quotes. Yeah, you have
Quotes,
to probably
gotcha.
do like /quote to like do escaped quotes. It's gonna be maybe a little tricky in here. I'm wondering, so like you're making a call, you're receiving a response, and then you're basically trying to send that response back a second time to do like a chat. Is that what you're going for?
That's the ultimate goal, but now I'm just sending the first message, and you need to put it inside
I see. I see.
an
Yeah,
object
when
and
you-
array.
When you string that array together in this action, you don't need to escape it.
Oh, you
Just
don't?
Okay.
no, just a straight, just a normal formatted array will work. When those arguments save, it automatically escapes it for you. You only need to escape it, like if you're doing nested things a little bit further, but usually not.
Okay, I'm gonna play around with that for a bit.
Do you know how to type the JSON manually in there, or do you need help writing what it actually is?
Sorry again.
Do you know what to type in that value now? If you have a concatenate, are you like you have the
I have an
knowledge, or you still
example.
need help with there?
I think I can figure it out.
Oh, and
Oh.
there is one thing you'll have to do. You'll actually have to convert the entire value to a concatenate, because what it's gonna do is right now it's an object where the key
So
is
this-
messages.
Yeah.
And it's gonna naturally put quotes before the array, which won't validate as a true array.
Yeah.
So
Right.
the whole thing needs to be a concatenated, like higher, like scroll up on there.
Yeah.
Keep going higher, scroll higher, like the
Oh,
whole
here. Yeah.
body.
Yeah.
Be a concatenate.
It's like right now that body is making itself as it's like using the inputs to form its own JSON. You basically have to write the JSON manually for the whole thing.
Yeah, because in the chat, that's a goal I'm trying to achieve. And I had this issue with explained before with the codes around the message part behind the points.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, definitely going with the concatenate gives you full control of what the output is. So like in this case, the body, the top level is looking for an object. So you'll start as an object and map all your key value pairs. And then when you get to the messages, that's where you'll start the array for the messages.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna play around with that for a bit. Perfect. Thanks.
Cool. Yeah.
But maybe you could show how to use normal OpenAI completion for using ChatGPT maybe too.
You can't actually, you mean like to use the action for it? Because you can't actually use the same action
And
exactly. You can modify it a little like in the JavaScript, but it's a different endpoint and stuff. So and the way you send the message is a little different. So like you're probably closer with what you have now than if you were to try that route.
And are you planning to implement an official action for using the ChatGPT API? And any plans on timing?
Are we
Release
planning
date.
on it? Yeah, it's in the works. I think actually the tricky part that the dev is working on and was talking about is like figuring out an easy system to get the back and forth. But I think like in general, it's already working for him. It's just now he's got to be creative and figure out like a nice UI for it, basically.
Perfect. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. Just checking the messages real quick. Awesome. John just shared something there. Okay. I feel like John is like honorary team member today because he's just rolling in with all the awesome suggestions.
Yeah.
Regular dude. Don't mind me.
Yeah. Thanks, John.
Yeah. That's definitely a good way to do it because then you pre-built the JSON. Just make sure to have a weight. And
Yeah, because we ran into that limitation thing when we were trying to do it in Stripe. I remember when we were putting the key values in there, and at some point it just said, "Yeah, no, sorry, we're not going to do it."
Yeah,
so
it makes sense.
I learned that from Dorian.
What is it? The student becomes the teacher.
Still the Padawan.
All right, so let's call you and Scott up for optimization, and then after this, let's help Maine. So yeah, what are you guys up to with optimization this week?
John, you want me to share screen?
Sure.
I'll do it.
Go ahead.
Cool. Just make sure that's the right screen. Okay, cool. Two things real quick. One, on that image uploaded, Matt and John made this really cool thing. So this is the original source image, and then for Jan, and then this is the image that's loaded on Bildr. So it actually gives you visual confirmation that everything gets imported, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So that might be really helpful. That we use this to import Etsy records for our artists, and so we're using this out of a CSV, and it just has a link in it. So that might be something for Jan to consider adding to his page.
Yeah.
When doing that data import.
Cool.
Okay, so
getting that to work, which we couldn't get it to work in this project. So there is a way.
it's just /import if you want to look at how we integrate it. Feel free on our page. Okay, so we have two pages on our account section. One is for customers who've made purchases to show them their purchase and allow them to either get support, see what their license type is, that sort of thing. This is being fed from two different collections, a license status collection and then the projects collection, where we're actually pulling the image for the project in the title. The difficulty that we're running into is this is the same concept, but only being drawn from well, so I guess it's the same kind of concept. It's being mostly drawn from the projects collection with some additional data. When this page loads, it's instantaneous. It's just there. It's comparing a bunch of values. It's seeing a bunch of things. It's setting everything. The same idea here under my purchases. I'll do this on live because it's a little bit faster. But when it's loading, it's just taking forever. And even without the skeleton loader, it's not, it's not loading. And so we've tried doing a bunch of optimizations, and I mean, we've worked on this for weeks, and we just can't seem to figure out why it's taking this long to load.
Yeah, we can definitely start, maybe open the network and
Sure.
let's do a refresh and let's see which request is hanging up.
Where's my network tab? There we go. All right.
And then scroll down, one of them will be in pending.
Um,
Oh, it's hard to see it.
I
That
think
one.
it's this one.
Yeah, click on that. And what collection is that? Or no, that's just the data listener. That one's always pending.
Okay.
Scroll down. We'll see it in the waterfall. Where is it?
I mean, it's also just a big waterfall. Like, look at all those requests.
Oh,
are the
that's
same.
why.
That's
It's
what's going on, I
it's
think.
doing individual requests for every record instead of I think on the other page it's probably being pre-cached, like being set into a variable first, getting all records.
I'm not sure. John, Matt, do you guys want to jump in because you guys are more the architects behind that?
So I think last time we went through like how to see which action is triggering a network request. And so we went away and like used that that you told us.
Mhm.
And we found that it's sometimes it's hard to just like to figure out which action it actually was. But what I'm thinking here then is that there is an action on each row that has cache turned off, and it's probably making that request every time.
Do you know if you're caching it? Like if you're actually in the beginning of the page, you're getting all those records at once, or you might not be.
I think we are to populate.
Because yeah, if you are, then it's exactly what you said. You probably have something with cache turned off in a row.
Yeah, and we can see that from the network actually. If you go back to the network.
Yeah.
And click on one of those so we can copy that request and go to the headers.
Okay.
And then just copy the last part where it says the BF in the request URL at the top.
Oh, okay.
And just copy the last GUID there. Yeah. And then paste that in the filter up above a bit. And then go all the way to the top. Let's see the first time this was requested. Click on that and go to payload. So no, it looks like nothing is pre-caching. So it's taking a long time because it's loading the grid, and then every grid inside is doing a separate request for a single record. So what I would do in this case is on this parent page that we're looking at, I would do a get for whatever collection that is, that the project's probably, and do a single set variable that's just getting all the records that are in that grid. That way everything's in one request already pre-cached, ready to go. So then by the time the grid row renders, it's not going out to the server for every row to get the data. It's just already there and it just uses it.
When we populate the grid lists and we set the value, would all the data be cached at that point?
It depends. Because if you're setting all the fields, then it should. It just depends. Like we would have to see that. Like Like
So
what?
basically, you just need to make a call for it. It doesn't actually matter, like if you're setting it into something or if you're setting into a variable or whatever. Like if you make a call to get all the records, then Bildr knows that, and then from then on, it never has to go to the network for it.
Yeah, because like what data gets set into the grid? I'm assuming it's not this BF0 record. Like it's a different collection that gets set into the grid.
Yeah, we're setting the project license status, which is we're setting it with a set element value action instead of defining it. And we just set it to get all fields, and then we filter for the user ID to match the user ID for that particular record so that they only see their purchases.
Yeah, and that makes sense. And that's why it's doing a separate request for each that other collection, the project. So yeah, what I would do is like before or you even set the data into the grid, go get the projects that are in that grid. That way they're already pre-cached. And by the time the grid of the licenses gets set, it's just going to use the data from the projects.
How would you know which project records to pull though?
How do you filter it in the row? The license row.
Because we kind of have like two layers here. We've got the license status record, and then inside there we have a reference to the ID of the project.
Do you have a reference to the user? Because I think this is like a user screen. They're seeing their own stuff, right? I think really it's filtered by user ID. Like you basically want to get everything for that you might need.
Yeah.
So if you did it by that user, I feel like that'd be good because you get all the projects automatically, but you're not displaying that anywhere or anything.
Yeah.
The problem there is that we don't have a direct link from the current user to a project. This is the projects that they've purchased, not the ones that they've made.
Nice.
And so we would have to like do a lookup for every project ID that's in every license status that's going to be shown on the page, which is quite difficult to do.
Yeah, well, you have the license. This is the first color. This is what gets set into the grid, right?
Yeah.
And this has the project ID. So what I would do is when you first get this data collection, set that into a variable, and then use that variable to create a second variable called like project IDs. And you'll just use a path from the first variable where you're doing only key values project ID. And that's going to give you a comma separated value of all the project IDs that came from this license. And then you're going to use that variable to go find the actual projects. And then after you set that, then after that, with the wait in between, then do the set into the grid. That's initially setting this license. But at that point, you already have the projects you need.
Okay, I think we'll give that a go. And we'll also scan through all of the actions and make sure that cache is turned on.
Yeah.
And hopefully that will reduce the amount of network requests we've got going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if not, let us know, because there will be a way to get rid of all those. Like you almost never need to have duplicates of network calls like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then I had another question. So I'm just like a bit curious, like at how the caching works. Like if I pull a record and it's stored in the cache, but then it's updated, that record is updated, would Bildr know that that record has updated and so the cache is out of date at that point?
Yep,
it does. Yeah, it updates the cache.
Okay.
Yeah, Bildr's whole goal there is just to try to be like smart for you and never go to the network if it doesn't need to. So there's a lot of stuff built in that kind of like keeps that cache in sync with the real data and then knows what you've requested and if something changed and you need to request it again or not. Like it's basically a system to kind of make that as foolproof as possible. And sometimes there's like little caveats when you get in, you have to kind of understand how it works, but for the most part, you almost never need to think about it and it just makes your app run faster. That's kind of the goal there.
Okay, that's great. Scott, did you have another question?
Nope, I think I'm good.
Cool.
Excellent. Thanks,
John?
y'all, for letting us take a peek at that one. Okay, so Maine. And y'all, we're only like 3 minutes over. Excellent. Okay. Maine, are you around? Yay. Okay.
Yeah,
She
hi
got-
guys. Well, first of all, I just want to thank Dorian for all his help this week. He has been incredible. Thank you so much. I have probably just one last question about this project, I hope. So first of all, I have a launchable version that I'm very happy about. I'd like to improve its UX a bit. So now for the users to use what I built, they need to give me an image URL. And so now I'm asking them to just go here and copy it, which is not perfect. So I was wondering if there would be a way for me to build a button or something that would allow them to then click on an image and automatically I would take that image URL and do my thing with it. I saw that on the extension functions, there is something that allows you to change the CSS, but I don't know if it's usable in my case.
You like with that action, like it won't work like them clicking on the page, but you could probably get it because the way that's designed is like you first search, like there's a search action where you can search a page. And then that search returns an array where each object is every instance that it found that matches that search. And part of each of those objects, it gives you like the element ID to target that specific element. And once you target that, then you can actually get the HTML of it, which part of it will be the source, which is the URL. But that would only work doing it through a search, not an actual click. But I'm not sure if maybe.
And also, would that mean that for every website, I would need to have a different script or something?
Yeah, like if you're trying to hide the search somehow, or.
Well, couldn't you search for just image elements and like list the images on a page or something like that? Like you can get close for sure. There's probably a way to make it clickable, but it might have to be like, it might be like similar to what you're doing with the color picker where you have to use a canvas.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Like one thing you can do is like right now with those actions, you won't be able to allow the user to click on the page directly. But instead what you can do is on your extension, have a button that says, or you can just do it automatically in the background where you use the search to retrieve and find all the images on the page they're viewing. And you can just display those in the grid. And then you already have it in the grid, and that actually gets everything from the element, like even the source, all the HTML of that element that it found. And then on your grid, you just allow them to pick the one they're wanting to store. And then you just grab the source out of that, and then that's it. You have the value.
When you say search element, which one? Search function, which one do you?
If you go, I don't remember what it's called. Yeah, go here and go to the actions, and let's search for Chrome extensions.
I was just playing with a couple of them. I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah. And then type Chrome up there that we can see all the Chrome ones. Okay, which one is it? It's the general page scraper. If you, yeah, that one there. So add that one. And then the search value, let's see. How do we do this? It's been a while since I looked at
Yeah, I'm
these.
not super familiar with any of these actions.
1 second, I'm pretty sure I built something similar. Let me see if I can find that.
Dorian's searching. I mean, can you imagine what's stored in his brain? Like all this stuff, and he It's just amazing.
Let's see.
You're scanning your memories right now, Dorian.
I'm scanning my projects.
He's scanning ChatGPT.
All right. It's like, build me this. I can show as an example. That'd be really cool. 1 second, trying to see. It's been a while, but I remember building something like that. Where was that?
While Dorian's doing that, I'm curious, what do y'all think would be more powerful as far as like using prompts to create stuff in Bildr? Something like, you know, add a header onto the page or add a text element, something at that level, or like create a page with, you know, create a landing page for a SaaS app or something like that. Like what's actually would be most effective in the building journey? Do y'all have any initial thoughts on that? As we kind of explore how to integrate AI into
I have
Bildr?
thoughts, but I'm not gonna say.
What? Yeah, okay. You have a lot of thoughts, but I'm curious what kind of flies off y'all's.
Yeah. In Maine, I found a project where I did something similar. And it is this action. Essentially, in your case, you're not gonna, like that first argument. In mine, I have a search field where I allow the user to search for something. But in yours, you can just target the image tag. Like it's just gonna search the page HTML. So in there, you can just statically put that. And then that's gonna return the actual element, the whole HTML element. So like what you would do in the flow to run after, you would essentially create a new flow where you're setting the value from that variable called search results, because that's where it's going to put it. And you're just going to set that into a grid, because it actually returns it as an array, and everything it finds will be an object, which creates a row in the grid. And once you have that, the user will literally visualize all the images they found on the page. And when they click on the row, you'll just create an action that you just take the source of that HTML that you found, the one they selected, and you do whatever you want with that. You just save it, or I'm not sure what this is there, but that will give you the ability to do what you're wanting to. It's not directly clicking on the page, but it'll get close, and you can do it right now.
Okay. And so it wouldn't let the user to choose the specific image from this page, but I can show all the images on my extension.
Yeah, you can just show it in the grid, you know, display it there.
All right. Yeah, that would be good.
And then they just pick the one they want to store, or whatever, which one they're capturing.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. And for your question, Cora, I think that better documentation would be really good for me personally, because sometimes we just have an action and then there is very little information about it except for its name. And so we don't always know what to do. Or sometimes there are like inputs, and then I'm not sure what should go into the input. Like in this case, I would have never thought that just saying image here would suffice.
Yeah.
It's very good. It's simpler than I thought it would be, but like I would have not guessed that. So a bit more explanation would be good for me.
Okay, definitely. And part of what we're doing is going to be building out that actions list. So, you know, the bildr.com/ I think it's education/actions, or is it just /actions? I don't know.
Actions now.
Okay. That is a list of all of the documentation on individual actions, and like, here's how you set them up, and then here's what you use them for. Some of them are filled out and some are not. And our goal is to get every single action described in that way. So that will be very good. And maybe we can find a way using AI where you can easily be like, tell me more about this action or something like that. But that, yeah, that's good feedback. And this is fun.
I
I
think
know
we're
Drew
doing
has a
that
lot of
too.
thoughts on